Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Merry Stupid Clock. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. In the description box, you're going to see a link to the article the JRC does not want you to read. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistic for autistics. This article is where they surveyed over 900 ABA professionals across the country and across the world in regards to the quote-unquote JRC's so-called behavioral treatment program. In fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so badly that they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not yank that article off of their website. NeuroClastic has refused and has stated that we will refuse to be silenced. And because we be petty and because we take joy in helping them get this article out there even more now, you will please see that link, get it shared on all your social media, and please give it all the clicks. You can also see the link to their public statement on the matter, as well as down at the bottom of the description box, you're going to see their GoFundMe. We created it for them folks in order to crowdfund them in case the JRC actually has the balls to see through their threat. Now, also, we have the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autisticoid's massive archive on the subject with over 30 years of evidence of what these fuckers do to people with disabilities and mental health issues. We also have the extremely important right now templates because the JRC is lobbying their asses off right now in order to get that ban removed from the bill that just got passed through the House. Let's be louder, okay? Click on your name, click on your senators, sign your name. You'll also see phone numbers that are on that website as well, those folks. Get those written down and call, okay? We also have the ever-present and self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Folks, when we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones, all right? Also, trigger warning, we're about to read some fucking stupid. Get your calming tea, find your calming animal. This just warning, all right? It is also 5:22 a.m. in the morning on a Sunday, so no, I'm not awake. Not even a little bit, not even at all. So if I stumble over my words, folks, apologies in advance, alright? Okay, so where we left off yesterday, here are some examples of behaviors that must be examined in their full context in order to be properly understood. You mean understood the way you tell us to understand them, yes? Because you're the only ones that understand these behaviors in full context, right? Like all the other psychologists and psychiatrists, mental health professionals, pharmacological doctors, and scientists all over the world, they just don't understand these behaviors as good as the JRC does, right? The fucking hubris on these people. Way to be humble, JRC. Way to be humble. The behavior by itself seems innocuous, but it is antecedent an attempt to execute or threat to execute some more serious behavior. How in the name of God is me saying the word fuck antecedent to me like going and just like punching a hole through someone? In fact, saying the word fuck releases, this is science, folks, I read it some years ago, endorphins into my system. I'm getting that aggression out through what the JRC tells us to do by using my words as opposed to putting my fist through a wall. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Logic. Sometimes a behavior, while not dangerous in and of itself, or when looked at without knowing the full context, is the first part of a chain of behaviors that ends in a dangerous behavior. In other words, you're looking for excuses, JRC. You are literally looking for excuses to torture these people. This is fucking bizarre, but let's see the pretzel they twist themselves into, alright? If reaching for a knife is almost always antecedent for attacking someone with a knife, i.e., then it is wise to retreat this antecedent in order to keep the rest of the sequence from occurring. Oh, for fuck's sake. Apples and oranges, JRC. Apples and oranges. How do we know that them grabbing, I don't know, a fucking butter knife in order to, maybe spread some peanut butter on some bread? Shock! Fuck's sake. If swearing in class is the first step to a sequence that almost always leads to the student attacking someone else with his fist, then it is wise to treat the antecedent swearing behavior. And how the fuck do you know that it's going to happen every time? JRC. Really? Then why is it literally on everybody's behavior sheet? Why is it on everyone's behavior sheet? But it leads to violence if you curse. You ever meet the common neurotypical teenager on the street, folks? Every other word out of their mouths is fuck. But do we see, and you know what? Sometimes, before a neurotypical gets into a fight, they curse. Shocking, right? Are we going to shock them for it? No, of course not. That would be insane. So why are we doing it to disabled people? You are not making things better, JRC. But it always leads to a fist fight. Really? And I'm to take your word for that? Quit demanding behavior that you won't even get out of the most normal fucking neurotypical teenager off the street. It's garbage. It's justification for the insane shit you do to those kids, and you fucking know it. God. If bowling out of one's seat is the first step in attacking a teacher, it may be necessary to treat the behavior of bowling out of one's seat. Then why, again, is it on every single behavior sheet? And yes, JRC, we have receipts of this. You can't sit there and fucking tell me that every single student is a threat to get up and attack a teacher. That is goddamn garbage, and you know it. It's using that one token student as an excuse and a reason to punish everyone else. It's about control. It's about fear. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's garbage, and you all know it. If a student needs to get up out of their seat during an activity because maybe they dropped something, and you shock them for it, but if they don't pick them up, you also shock them for it. And then you're going to sit there and tell me, well, we didn't know if they were going to get up and attack a teacher? Really? Really? Playing devil's advocate, say these things were the best things in the world and did teach better behaviors. Why are there not nuances for allowances? When somebody drops something, for example, even if it's on their sheet, they bolt and may attack someone. If all it looks they are doing is bending over to pick up the dropped item, and they are not showing any signs of aggression whatsoever, that should be taken in consideration before you shock them for doing nothing wrong. Okay? On its face, your premise fails. On its fucking face, it fails. You're bending over backwards trying to create situations in order to justify what you do to these kids. And we have no idea, as the outside public, whether or not these situations have even happened at all. They're fucking hypotheticals, and you cannot use fucking hypotheticals to defend torture. Really? Really? We're going to go in a little bit more into this tomorrow. But the JRC is basically trying to convince us that these behaviors that do not harm anyone are in fact precursors in order that violence will come for it towards themselves or others. So we must punish it now, even when it's completely fucking harmless. It's garbage and they know it. There is no way to determine whether a person just saying fuck is going to end up in him hitting someone. Do you know how many contexts and ways you can say the word fuck? I use it all the time. All the time. Fuck in and of itself is nothing more than a word, and it can be used in many different ways. It does not automatically mean after I say the word in a sequence of events, I'm gonna punch a hole through my wall, okay? It's garbage, JRC. It's garbage, and you fucking know it is. And I'm just gonna keep saying fuck because I can, and there's not a goddamn thing the JRC can do about it. Fuck, 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 fuck. Fuck. I don't see me putting a hole through the wall, JRC. I don't see me, like, turning the neighbor's cat into deli meat. Alright. Fucking please. Alright. The JRC is trying to basically justify torturing these kids over completely fucking harmless behaviors that any teenager off the fucking street, the most neurotypical kid in the goddamn world, does every single day. Yes, even right before they get into a fight at school. Amazing, right? But we're not going to torture them for it or punish them for it. At least not on the level that the JRC does to these kids. No kid who's gotten a fist fight, are you ever going to hear a fucking parent say, let's strap them to a 4-point board, put them on 45 milliamps of electricity, attach those to their skin to make sure it fucking really hurts, and shock them over 31 times. Not going to happen. So why is that used as a justification to do it to us? Because we're not valued like the typical neurotypical teenager. We're not seen as equal to them. We're not seen as human beings by the JRC. That's it, and that's all. Because if they saw us as human beings acting as any fucking normal teenager would, do you really think they would take it to that kind of extreme? And on that note, I'm going to close out. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. And the few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, don't forget to hit the comments. Do appreciate your time this morning, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye. Oh, and before I get off this channel, one more time, just for the hell of it. Hey, JRC, fuck! Okay, I'm good.